Hello Manchester. Hi Roy. Hi Lloyd. And good evening from Auckland City Hospital here in New Zealand. Thank you for asking us to speak about our iBleep journey here in Auckland. We'd love to be with you in person, but the weather's just gorgeous across here. Anyway, iBleep, it all started some 3 years ago now. We use iBleep in all of our 42 wards. That's all of our acute medical, surgical wards, paediatrics, women's health, mental health. But it all started with just a pilot on 4 wards. But within 3 days, the neighbouring wards had seen the value of iBleep and they were asking for it. So before we knew it, 10 weeks later, we had 25 wards all using iBleep. 12 months later, we'd made our 100,000th iBleep call, because we make approximately 300 to 350 iBleep calls every day. And saying that we don't use iBleep Monday to Friday, 8 o'clock through till 4 p.m, but we do use iBleep every other time.
Hi Manchester, I'm Joyce. And why does iBleep work for us? It really incorporated our out-of-hours model of care, where we have a senior nursing team, the clinical nurse advisors, to support the junior medical officers out of hours. It also allows our junior medical officers to prioritise their workload and allows the clinical nurse advisors to have a global picture of everything that's happening within the hospital and the wards, so that they can also support the nursing staff. It incorporates our phlebotomy service, which is a much more efficient mode of referral than using a paper-based system. And previously we did not have an early warning score system, but having seen some information and gathered some publications from the NHS on early signs of deterioration in hospital patients, we have now applied an early warning system which is incorporated within the iBleep, and we can have developed our parameters which work for us and iBleep. We're now leading on to a paediatric early warning score system, which is being rolled out within our paediatric service currently. And this also allows us to have data easily at hand for analysis. For example, we've analysed the number of drug requests after hours and the clinical nurse advisor response times. So yeah, that's why it works for us.
Okay, thanks. But has it all been plain sailing? No, we've had a few issues. Initially, we had a lot of delayed texts. Vodafone New Zealand struggled to give priority to our hospital iBleep texts. I don't think that's an issue that others would face outside of New Zealand, but it was certainly disruptive for us, wasn't it, for quite a while. Also, our Junior Doctors Union found it interesting that we could tell some of the workload that our junior doctors at night were coping with. We knew that it had always been very easy to get locums for shifts on older people's health, and much harder to get a locum to work on a busy medical or general surgical ward. iBleep, indeed shows that we have some very busy junior doctors here at night. What have we learnt from it? Well, our nurses on the ward, when we surveyed them, they said that our response times to iBleep calls was so much faster than a response time to a pager call. I think from memory they said that doctors, or 78% of nurses said that doctors responded 78% quicker, and a very similar number for our clinical nurse advisors. The doctors also commented that it had reduced the inappropriate calls that they were receiving, I think because it forces people to put just pertinent information when they're making an iBleep call. It means that the little things that they might have previously just woken up a doctor to let him know that this was happening, didn't happen any longer. One of our big learnings was that it's great to get flash phones, such as these, but they're very desirable. They were used for things other than iBleep use, and because they were desirable, some of them were a little hard to trace at times. What we ended up with was a tough phone. It's great, you can drop it on concrete for 4 foot. It's not pretty, but it functions very well indeed. And it's just rough enough for, as I say, our 300, our 350 calls that we're getting a night. I think the other thing was, initially we were worried that, being 11,000 odd miles away from England, what would happen if things went wrong, or we had a problem, how would we explain that? That's never been an issue. We've had fantastic support, thanks Roy and your team. That's been really great. And the other thing from my perspective is, I've never previously come across a software supplier and developer who would give us software that has been bug-free every single time, and somebody who's always so responsive to any advice we want, listening to our needs and adapting things to work for us. So thanks very much, Roy. Thanks everybody, and we wish you all success with your iBleep journey.